What's up, guys? So today I want to talk about something that I don't talk about enough, and that's working on your overall level of happiness while you're trying to recover from anxiety so that your anxiety doesn't just go into dormancy and reemerge. So you can stay fully recovered like I have. I had to fix a lot of things in my life, including my happiness and a lot of the root causes that over the years fueled my first panic attack. It wasn't just a weekend of drinking that did this whole thing to me. And that's a huge mistake that I made and a lot of you make. You think about that first panic attack or the first time you had symptoms, right? Or an anxiety attack, whatever your big first episode was. And we put so much weight and emphasis on what was going on that day. Sure, it probably triggered what happened, but there's a good freaking chance that this had been building for a long time before that. And that was what happened in my life, and many of you will probably relate. We have this volcano, right? When it erupts, that's our panic attack, or whenever our symptoms come out for the very first time, or whenever it comes out in an exaggerated form, right? But you have this magma reservoir that's beneath that builds and builds and builds until there's so much pressure that it doesn't take much at all for you to have the eruption, okay? And for me, what triggered it was the weekend of drinking, smoking a lot, eating horrible food, not getting a lot of sleep, and then I had a little bit of dehydration, I believe, that led to the palpitations, and then I flipped out. And then from then on, I was scared that there was something wrong with my heart, and that I was afraid of my next panic attack, which fueled it, right? And this went on for years. And for the longest time, I made a huge mistake in thinking like, dang, man, that sucks. I drank too much, and now I'm stuck like this. Such a depressing thing to think about. I've talked to so many people where they smoked marijuana and then they had an episode of panic or DPDR, depersonalization or derealization, a lot of anxiety symptoms. They felt like they were losing their mind, like they were going crazy, and then just kept going on. But I'll keep talking to them and we'll start to uncover a lot of other things that happened before that. It could be the weeks leading up to it, but for many of you, you're going to find things in the months and years leading up to your first episode of anxiety. And I started to dig deeper, and I started to realize, like, man, I had a lot of issues going on in my life. And one of them was happiness. I struggled with seeing the glass half full, right? I saw it as half empty all the time. And I started to realize, like, my God, I've been this way since I was like in junior high and high school, and I had everything I could have ever dreamed of. I had a couple of good parents. I had a job where I made my own money. I had my own vehicle. I was in extracurricular activities. I had a girlfriend. I was an honor student. I was a musician. I had scholarship offers, and I was going to go to college. I had so many great things going for me, but I really struggled with negativity, and it really, did a number on my happiness. So my happiness level was not where it needed to be. Okay, and we can go on and on about materialistic things not equating to happiness and money and all these things. But I had a huge issue with pessimism, and I had a huge issue with self-love, self-image issues, not being assertive, feeling like I was always giving more than getting from other people. I had this need for attention. These are a lot of things I think that over time started to add up and build up in my life. Another one was I was a very fearful person. I did a very good job at hiding it. But ever since I was a child, it was the fear of somebody breaking in my home constantly, constant paranoia, fear of darkness, fear of death, dying, my eventual death, right? The fear of losing other people, the fear of not being loved or accepted. I had been dealing with these freaking things since I was a kid, and it was really affecting my happiness levels. So I never addressed any of this, and it kept on building and building and building and building. And then whenever I became a young adult, I started to face adversities. I started to party. I started to drink. So I started to get addicted to alcohol. And then I was smoking cigarettes. And then I eventually dropped out of college. Nobody would have ever thought that Trey Jones was going to drop out of college. I was a musician. I sold my trumpet, the thing that I'd had for years. I was going to be a musician and get a performance degree at Sam Houston State University music school. And I sold it for some alcohol, straight up, so I could get 3 30 packs. So I was getting hit with adversities. I dropped out of college, came back, worked at a job I never thought I would work at. Not going to mention it. But I worked at a lower level job, and I started just hanging out with the wrong people. And this just kept happening. So my lifestyle was going nowhere. You know, my career, my college, that was all on a screeching halt. Like, it wasn't moving forward. And my happiness got worse and worse and worse, and I was getting hit with adversities. And then all it took was just me getting a little bit dehydrated to overreact to the symptoms that I was dealing with and go into a full-blown panic, because this panic probably had been building for years. So the point of this video is to not necessarily think that that first time you smoked when you had it, or you had a bad drinking episode, or maybe you experimented with drugs and it kind of went wrong, or maybe that one fight or that one breakup, or you know, that one time you got fired, or maybe getting COVID or something. We all have different things that triggered that first panic attack or anxiety attack or symptoms or negative thoughts, right? Whatever you're dealing with, whatever type of anxiety disorder you have, I want you to go back further and start investigating these things. Please go back further, make a list of things. I can talk for an hour and a half or 2 hours on this video right now about all the things that foreshadowed what was going to come. Again, it could be you struggling with self-love, self-image, thinking that you're not good enough, not being assertive. That's something else I struggled with. I wasn't a very assertive person. I was quiet. I didn't voice my opinion. I didn't like confrontation. You know, it was something that I actually feared. So that was something that I struggled with. I was very fearful. I wasn't good at facing or standing up to my fears when I was younger. So they just kept being, you know, bottled up. I had issues with wanting attention. Anyway, I could go on and on and on about all the things that affected my level of happiness, that kept me at a lower level, that I didn't work on or address. But guess what I had to do whenever I was recovering from anxiety? I had to start working on those things. And since I worked on those things, overcame a lot of those fears, I can now live my life post-anxiety without worrying about this thing resurfacing or coming back up, because I handled all the old stuff. Right? I handled all my older struggles whenever I was younger, the things that I didn't address, the things that I let intensify over time. So work on those things, please. So it's your overall happiness. It's some of the root causes. Stop thinking that it was just because that one time you did that one thing that you've been like this for years. I just don't, in my opinion, I don't think it's because of that. I think it's been building. There's a collection of things for most of you that led you to where you're at, okay? So start working on that. Guys, if you watched this whole video to this point, I want you to go down below, and in all caps, I want you to put, I will work on my happiness. I will work on my happiness. I want you to put that down below. Remember, please hit like if you made it this far and you got value out of this. A little bit of a different topic than I usually discuss. And if you're new, please hit subscribe. If you want more help with your anxiety, okay, if you want to recover, if you want to start managing this better, if you want to move past this and live the life that you actually deserve, please grab my course. I'm going to put that in the description in the first pinned comment. It's Elite Anxiety Bootcamp. It's helping so many people. I wanted to help you out as well. It's my blueprint on what I did to overcome crippling health anxiety, tons of anxiety symptoms, and multiple panic attacks that I was having every single day. I actually recovered fully, 100% for years now. So that's why I make videos on this channel. I want to give back to you guys with these free videos. But if you're serious about recovery, and you want to dig in deeper, check out that course. I'll put it down below. My one-on-one coaching program, information is down below. Online therapy is down below. There's a lot of resources if you're wanting to get help for your anxiety. So just take advantage of those. Free Facebook groups are down there. Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. But until next time, guys, I love you all and keep fighting.